What's up, everybody? I'm John Middlekauff. You know what I need you to do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got content for days reacting to every NFL game all the time, every single day. Subscribe, like the videos. Let's go. Another guy who's pretty fascinating is DK Metcalf, who there have been rumors, I would say, after the season, like, could the Seattle move on from? Then John Schneider at the combine, the general manager for Seattle, just pushed back against that. Like, I don't know where you guys are hearing that. Then Schefter and other people report that DK Metcalf has asked for a trade. It's kind of that crew of guys. You know, AJ Brown has been traded. Debo, all the 3 second-round picks that hit, what was that, 2019 draft? DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, and Debo. AJ got traded to the Eagles. Debo's now traded to Washington, and DK now demands a trade to a contender, even though he's played for a team that won 9, 9, and 10 games. Like, Seattle isn't that far away, but I guess in his mind they are. I saw something on the internet that, like, keep an eye for the Chargers. One, if you're Seattle, you're not trading DK Metcalf. Even when you look at his stats, they don't necessarily show, like, this guy's a lock to get traded for a first rounder. But in terms of what he means on the field, like, he does change their offense. So even if he has a less productive year, every time he steps on the field and is out wide, the defense and the game plan is worried about him, is cheating his way. So I think his impact is more than just the stats. I kind of equate him to, he's not as good, but like a modern day Terrell Owens. His physicality, his speed, once the ball's in his hands and he has any green grass, that dude's out the gates. I'm a DK Metcalf fan just because I like freak shows that can make plays. And let's face it, like, wide receivers can be a little difficult sometimes. That doesn't bother me. You know, the other positions that bother me when it comes to that is like quarterback. I don't want to deal with this, right? Wide receivers, I have to deal with it. It comes with the package. And I think Seattle would have to be very, very careful about trading this guy to think that you would, like, be making progress. But back to the Chargers thing, that people are like, get ready for the Chargers. And maybe they would. And I'm not disagreeing that he would make sense for them to give them a threat on the outside, draft a running back. It would be opposite of everything that we know about Jim Harbaugh. When you think Jim Harbaugh, do you think trading a first round pick, because I think that's what it would take to get him. So trading a pick in the early 20s to get DK Metcalf, who would then be on his third contract that you would have to give, I don't know, 80, 90 million dollars guaranteed. I'm not even saying that's a bad football move, but everything Jim Harbaugh stands for, the line of scrimmage, dominate the line of scrimmage, the run game, defense, invest in pass rushers, invest in defensive line. Look at the way his Michigan team was built. That it would be that. I would be a little surprised. I also think it's gonna be kind of interesting because if you're Seattle, you couldn't give him, all the good teams that would want him, like a late second round pick. I don't know if you can give him away for that. But a team in, the Buffalo Bills, some of those type teams, are they trading their first round pick and then giving him a huge contract? I don't know. I think he's going to be fascinating. I do think his value, though, is much higher than just his statistics. Because if you just look at his statistics last year, he didn't catch 100 balls. Right? Now, I know he was banged. Let me just bring those up really quick because I was looking at him the other day. I don't want to screw him up. But I know he was down the last couple of years. So DK Metcalf, last 2 years, 66 catches the last 2 years. And this year, 66 catches, 990 yards, and 5 touchdowns. But the one thing he does, man, his average per catch is high. That fucking guy stretches the defense. And it's hard to cover guys that are 6'3", 6'4", that are chiseled and can run like, I don't know, Tyreek Hill. I mean, the guy can fly. Different cat. I think, he can drive people in Seattle a little wild, but like I said, it's part of football. Like some certain positions, like you got to deal with it. And to me, he's still talented enough. Now, would I invest? And I think anytime you're talking about a third contract with these guys, there becomes a lot of discussion. Speaking about Seattle, if they do end up trading DK Metcalf, they also just cut Tyler Lockett, who I would say has been one of the more underappreciated players in all of the National Football League for the last, I don't know, 5-6 years, maybe even longer than that. I pulled up his stat page, and he's basically missed a couple games since 2019. Like you talk about a guy who is very durable. And listen, maybe I'm jaded because I watch so many like Seattle Niner games, Niner Rams games. I feel I've seen this guy make so many big plays. And, clearly just a high level cat. Uh, Excellent for a smaller player. I've always thought he's really good in the red zone. And sometimes with guys that aren't 6'2" plus, the red zone, especially guys that are 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", they might not be dominant red zone players. I always thought, I don't know if it's instincts. I don't know if it's just a feel for working in small spaces, but he's just an excellent red zone target. Now, sometimes you also have to be realistic. Older player. He had his worst season since 2017. Uh, He's made, I think he was coming off a 2 year, basically $30 million contract, which I think was fair a couple years ago. I think you're probably looking at a guy, uh, I would say $7 to $8 million range, maybe a 1 year contract. I do think it's going to be fascinating because when I see Tyler Lockett get, almost said fired, cut. I mean, it's the same thing. Devante Adams, Christian Kirk, who I'm pretty sure got injured last year, but definitely Devante and Tyler Lockett. Like those are players that for a long period of time, the New England Patriots, anytime a veteran who still had good football left, you'd be like, Patriots going to be all over him. But you're not going to get paid a premium. You're going to come here to try to win. And you have to think that Brett Veach, Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes, like all these wide receivers, like they're going to rank them, that they're all working together trying to sign one of them. And I would be a little stunned that when the dust settles, that one of these bigger name guys who's a little older doesn't end up for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are the new version of the Patriots that way. And like I understand Devante Adams wants to go west, and he would have. I'm sure the Rams are interested. I'm sure the Niners would be interested. Like he would have immediate options in the state of California, and I don't blame him. Like I'm a West Coast guy. I love the West Coast. I made a huge move, whatever, 3 or 4 years ago. I moved an hour flight. I guess a little longer, that hour half flight. Like I wasn't. I didn't entertain, and I was dead set on leaving California, but it never entertained. Like I'm going to go to Texas or I'm going to go to Florida. If I could do it over again, I might have thought Nashville, but it's like I totally understand that. I am not against people that feel more comfortable in a region, being around their family. I know he's got a big pad in Vegas, but if the Kansas City Chiefs call him and say, Devontae, this is Coach Reid. I've been to 5 Super Bowls in 6 years. I watched you dominate in Green Bay for a long period of time, and it felt like multiple times you guys are going to win the Super Bowl, and then you never even made it. You're one of the better players of your generation. These last couple years have been rough on your brand because, Devonte Adams' brand was synonymous with dominating and winning. And now you're a little older and you're losing all the time. Come here and let's go win a chip. Well, let's go win the fourth Kansas City Super Bowl. And this will happen to a lot of the guys with the Patriots. Like you would come there and you would be a major reason. Like Rodney Harrison, come here. Darrell Reeves, come here. Right, that was a huge selling point. And I think the Chiefs kind of have that, especially now. It's like we got so close, we got our ass kicked. We need some reinforcements. We need you. That's why Kevin Durant took so much shit. It's like they don't need Kevin Durant. It's like, yeah, we kind of do. We'll just dominate. We'll never lose. But that's not what the Chiefs are saying. Like we have some missing pieces here, and we need your help. So I would imagine Sean McVay and Les Snead and John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have been on the horn with Devontae, but I would be stunned if Kansas City hasn't not just sniffed around, but has made some behind the scene pitches. Now, I mean, all these teams, they're not going to throw you an unlimited amount of money. So you're basically choosing to go to try to win the Super Bowl, which is honestly the only missing thing to his career, right? Devontae has awesome years of production, has made a boatload of money. It's like, can you ever just just getting to the Super Bowl? Obviously, the goal is to win it, but I can't imagine being an elite player who played on great teams and your career ends, and you never know, it could end on any given year, right? Especially the older you get, an injury, your just ability slips. Going like, I never even got the chance to play in the game. I never got the like. I understand the Chiefs got their ass kicked, but like DeAndre Hopkins would be like, that's Super Bowl, man, and he can just talk about that experience. Obviously, you lose, but to be able to experience it has to be pretty cool.